Whoa, bro.
No.
That's some Bill O'Brien buzz right there.
We don't talk about him in this house.
Jesus.
How does this happen?
Welcome into the Jordy Culotta
Right through
Show. Driven and powered here by Ghost Chevrolet. We've got a buzz. We're getting that taken care of by Lloyd. As, yes, he provided the buzz. Now he's going to try to take it away.
I love losing this buzz. Hate losing the normal buzz, though.
Yes. It is a good Friday morning to you here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Thank you for starting your day with us. Click that like, share, dislike button. Interact with us as LSU basketball last night rolls to another win. Tigers beat McNeese last night as they were defensively again on fire, man. That has been the difference from this team through the first couple of games. They have forced 10 shot clock violations.
They had a 10-second. They had two 10-second violations yesterday.
I mean, bro, they are so fun to watch as they beat up on McNeese last night, 85-46. Couple of leaders for LSU.
Hey,
How about Tari Eason, bro?
Whoa.
Dude's a walking double-double.
I think he's the best, like the most well-rounded player on the team.
I think so, too. I mean, BG and I were talking a little bit last night at halftime when we were kind of talking about, like, best player, most well-rounded. I mean, it's hard to say that Eason is not the guy just because he does everything. He does it. And his hands around the rim are very undervalued. I mean, his ability to catch, you know, like kind of like fastballs coming off the rim and be able to either put it back or get the ball down the floor. I mean, he ran the point last night a couple of times.
Yeah, he did. I love Pinson's stat line is pretty cool, too. Yeah, I think it was like 8 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, something crazy like that. Like, just filling it up, man, doing what he needs to do.
Pinson last night had 5 points and 8 assists last night. He did have 3 turnovers, but they got to clean up. But he is so smooth.
Yeah, he is.
In the open floor, man.
He's calm.
Yeah,
you know what I like, dude? He misses a shot, like an open shot. He missed it. Because I was on the other side, like closest to LSU's bench. He missed a corner 3, and like he was open. He should have made it. Like most people get like upset, but like nothing changes on his face. You know what I mean? Nothing changes in his demeanor. And as a point guard, that's kind of what you need. You know what I mean? Guy who stays level-headed.
Yeah, I love their depth, too, and Gaines provides such a spark.
Gaines. I like Gaines, man.
Coming up here this morning on the Jordy Culotta Show, we're going to talk to Ben Mintz. Mintz is going to be here at 8 a.m., and we'll be talking gambling and give you the six-pack of winners as Mintz has been out the last couple of Fridays here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We will talk to him coming up here at around 8 a.m. this morning and get some selections here. Noah is here. Matuk is here. Lloyd's cleaning up that buzz that I think we got it, buddy. I think we're
not buzzing no more.
We're not as
sobered up a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're good. For this Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, remember daily our water is brought to you by True Blue Water, TRUBluewater.com. Official spice is Papa Earl's, 30% less sodium than the competition. Papa Earl's, you can pick it up anywhere you shop locally. Majestic Coffee, DeliciousSips.com is where you get the coffee if you want to find out. And then our phone line guest, Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions. Charles Harvey and Jason Ramazan over there at the Crew sat with Ramo and his crew last night at the game as LSU was. They didn't start it as well as you would have liked, especially shooting the ball, but defensively is really kind of what has been the difference for this crew. All right, we'll get to some basketball. We'll talk about this LSU football opening, and if you've seen this, Reese Davis, who is speaking yesterday on the College Football Podcast, which is hosted by ESPN, him and David Pollack were recently talking about who's going to be next at LSU, and Pollack was pretty forthright. He thought that they should hire Dave Aranda. Now, Pollack's a defensive guy. He was down here in and around LSU during that championship run, and while Aranda was in Baton Rouge, so he's kind of there. You go, buddy. Whatever you just did, hold that spot. There it is.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Foreplay works every time.
There you go.
You just got to push the right button. Sometimes they like it.
Man is good with his hands.
That's right.
Nice work over there.
Yeah.
So David Pollack was explaining on the ESPN College Football Podcast why he believed it should be Dave Aranda. And then Reese Davis, who is, we all know this, he's a Gumper. I mean, he's a Bama graduate. He loves Alabama.
And he'll let you know it.
I
think I'm embarrassed to say I did not know that he was an Alabama grad.
A proud Tider.
Wow.
Open your ears, Mikey.
Man, gee, open my eyes, dude.
Open
Do
your
some
ears,
research,
eyes, yeah.
something.
So he just kind of pops in on the college football podcast and says, I think Bill O'Brien's going to be the next coach at LSU. And Pollock's like,
Whoa.
oh, my God. Okay. Because he knows that Davis is talking to people. And he's probably talking to, like, Bill O'Brien or people at Alabama.
God, don't want that.
Last night, I talked to the most trusted source I have talked to throughout this entire time. And again, I am still saying and still steadfast on the approach that anybody that tells you that they know anything does not know nothing.
Nothing.
I need some relief med after you
But
say
last night, if there was anybody that would know, this guy would know. And I asked him about the Bill O'Brien thing. His eyes widened. He took a step back. And he told me that it was real.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I've been in a fog. I think if they hire Bill O'Brien,
that's a swing and a miss.
that is such a swing and miss and such a turnoff of a hire that I can't fathom it right now. I can't even really. I can't even.
I don't want to.
No, I can't even think. I
I
can't
don't
even
want
think
to think
that out
about
loud.
it. I don't. No. I'm putting it in the universe. That's not happening.
Now, if we're gonna be fair on O'Brien, and let's just lay out the story. O'Brien, the way that he finished Houston was abysmal.
Terrible.
I mean, it was as bad as you can be in the NFL. And if you look at the Houston Texans right now, he's pretty much solely to blame for how bad they are.
Yeah.
I mean, the decisions that he made, they gave him such power in that organization. He traded away DeAndre Hopkins. He made moves that just made zero sense. And the Houston Texans will probably have the number one pick in the draft for the next couple of seasons because of O'Brien. But before that, he was a very well-respected football coach. He worked alongside Tom Brady. He was the first to get the Penn State job after the Joe Paterno fiasco and things that were going on up there with Jerry Sandusky. He rejuvenated that Penn State program in a time where people thought it was going to be SMU football, that it was going to be the death penalty on the field. Like, it didn't matter. You could have hired Vince Lombardi, Nick Saban, and Bear Bryant, and you were never going to get back. But Bill O'Brien was the guy that brought Penn State back pretty quick in a time where nobody thought that could happen. He also has Tom Brady's tutor on his resume. And if you read some reports about what happened at the end of Houston, Tom Brady made a comment, or somebody close to Tom Brady made a comment that Brady would want Bill O'Brien to be the head coach to follow up Belichick because he was the one that worked best alongside Brady. And that almost made O'Brien sabotage his days at Houston, if I read correctly. Kind of, he wanted to get himself out so he could play himself back into New England. Now, it never worked out like that. And like I said, the way that the Houston Texans job ended for Bill O'Brien is, it's almost unrecoverable.
Regardless of what the greatest quarterback of all time, regardless of what he says to you or says to anyone or anyone close to him says, oh, this is how good. You can't, like, by tanking and by sabotaging your job because you want another job, that's an indictment on your character. It's not good. That's not a good thing to do. I don't care how good of a coach you are. That's not, it just looks awful.
You couldn't have ended it any worse than he did in Houston.
And honestly, Alabama's offense hasn't been, I mean,
that's true.
Hasn't been good this
And
year.
if you listen to some of the players in the way that they talk about O'Brien, that's as big of a turnoff as what you watch on the field. I mean, you've got to have somebody that is relatable, especially in recruiting. And I just, look, like I've said the entire time, I'm just telling you what I have been told and what was being reported yesterday on ESPN's College Football Podcast, which is hosted by the faces of the sport. Reese Davis, David Pollack, Kirk Herbstreit, all those guys, Desmond Howard, all those guys come in and talk college football. And Pollock said that they need to hire Dave Aranda. And out of nowhere, the Alabama alum, the proud Tide fan / reporter host, Reese Davis, pops in and says, I think Bill O'Brien's going to be the next head coach at LSU. And just kind of shocks everybody. And last night, as I said, throughout this process, I hadn't believed anybody has had any solid information. But the person that I spoke to last night, if there was solid information out there, he would have it. And when I asked him if he had heard the Bill O'Brien stuff that, people were talking about nationally, he told me it was real. And I nearly vomited.
It would be the worst one on the board, right?
I'm hoping this is the Pat Casey thing with baseball. I'm hoping that he's just saying, hey, we're throwing this out there. He has some qualifications, but he ended his tenure at his last place bad. And hopefully people looked at this and they get really mad so that our next hire is not going to be as scrutinized because, hey, we could have had Bill O'Brien. We don't have him, but we want this guy. Thank God. We're happy.
Where do you think Scott Woodward put Bill O'Brien on his list?
Whew, that's a good question. He was probably on the list because of his relationship with Nick Saban and how much he respects what Alabama has going on. So I think that he was probably on the list. But if you would have seen the name on there a month ago, you probably would have just said, that's kind of a
courtesy interview.
It's kind of a courtesy invitation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we'll talk to Alabama's offensive coordinator. But
I mean, if he's going strictly off of what Nick Saban brings to the table and his advice, their relationship doesn't seem to be the best in the world between Bill O'Brien and Nick Saban.
He's been there 1 year.
He's been there 1 year. It just doesn't seem like that would be the information I would go off of. Is like, okay, I trust Nick Saban on this one. Like, I understand if you want to bring in somebody else and it's a guy closer, like I understand a Billy Napier, but just to have a 1 year working relationship with him seems very odd to me. If that's like the reason you make the hires off of Nick Saban's word.
I'm sure he's going based off that, based off his relationship with Belichick. Like Saban and Belichick come from the same tree, so he worked under Belichick. He has the recommendations from Brady. I mean, you can have all of that, but what I'm looking at on the field and what happened in Houston, and that may be unfair for us to say, hey, we're looking at his last couple of years in Houston, but that was so bad that you can't get it out of your head.
It's tough not to point at him and blame him because he was the general manager, too.
Yeah, he did everything.
He had absolute power in an NFL franchise, and that NFL franchise is set back, it looks like, almost a decade.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
looks
of the
like
players they had on that
how
team.
long is it going to take the Houston Texans to become relevant again? I mean, it's going to take them 5 or 6 years to be
Deshaun Watson was
sure,
standing,
that was
obviously,
that was a big deal.
I mean, I was talking about this yesterday to some of my buddies, and look at the trades that he's made and what he did to Houston to get out of there.
Yes.
If it was deployed to get back to New England, like Mikey, like you said, that's an unfathomable. That's a non-hireable.
Exactly.
I agree.
That's a
non-starter.
non-starter. That's a non-starter. Like for me,
Yeah.
if you're gonna go do that and go to a place and think you can play your way out of it, like
Just because you want
trying to
something
play
else?
chess
No,
because
yeah.
you're looking at something else and you
Nope.
think, okay, well, if I can tank this place, literally tank an NFL franchise, so they'll have to fire me. Like, there's got to be a million different ways to be able to handle that, and him handling it that way, that's like a junior high move to be like, well, if I just put this cheat sheet
right.
up my sleeve, then I can get away with it. It's such a demerit on his resume that he has the ability to not only get that much power and then turn around and use it for his own personal benefit. It makes it a non-starter for me. I wouldn't even have a conversation with the guy. Because if you think about him coming to LSU and you think about what's the only thing that you've been looking for, like number one on the list is stability. Bill O'Brien brings no stability in my mind because of what he did with the Texans. If you want to take all of that out and say, look, he did great at Penn State and helped rebuild a brand and, kind of took over what James Franklin did and parlayed it into a great job in New England, that's great. But what he's done since then, there's no mark on his resume that I go, we have to have him. Like, that's a home run to hire. For me, that sounds like Scott Woodward got so far, like that's 4th or 5th down the list in my mind. I got to make a call to Nick Saban. Would you give him up for me? Like, we're struggling.
Brandon Hollingsworth says Woodward is not making that hire. I'm very confident in that. I did have that feeling, too, when I heard the news last night that this just does not make a lot of sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
For Scott Woodward to settle in on a guy that is going to be a really rigid fit for this program right now. I mean, it's just going to be tough to sell Bill O'Brien. And I know that that's really not the gig. It's not being able to sell it to the public. You just got to make sure that you get the right guy. Bill O'Brien does not feel like that guy, right? I mean, and obviously something is going on with names being leaked, whether it's coming from one side or the other. And to me, people were asking me, you know, throughout yesterday and last night in the Maravich Center what I thought about the Lincoln Riley stuff. And I really thought that that was coming from Lincoln Riley's side. And when people asked me, you know, what your thoughts are on that, when the numbers came out, when the color of the SUV came out on the tarmac at Baton Rouge Metropolitan, that's too much information.
Too much info.
It was too much information. 8 years, $96 million. We've been fishing for information in this fishing hole for the last month and can't get anything. Zero. Can't even get a nibble. And out of nowhere, somebody pulls 8 years, $96 million on Lincoln Riley, and that it's being leaked from. Now, that's not coming from LSU. It must have been coming from Riley's side to put pressure on, you know, the Oklahoma executives to try to squeeze more years and money out of them. Same thing that happened with Mel Tucker in East Lansing. Same thing that happened with Jimbo Fisher in College Station. You know, I mean, Ross Bjork didn't wake up one day and say, you know what? I think I'm going to give Jimbo more years and more money. It's not like he doesn't already have enough. I mean, it's Jimmy Sexton saying, look, you really don't want him to listen to LSU? Give him an upgrade in facilities and give him a couple of more years and a couple of more millions.
Right.
That's what he's known to do.
Right. Well, and because they extended Jimbo before this year even started, so they had to know that Scott Woodward had a couple moves up his sleeve to where if this year doesn't go well, LSU has a good chance of coming after Jimbo. So let's show good faith on the front end so we don't have to come back and scramble and do it on the back end and give him an inflated contract, even more so whenever it's apparent that LSU is coming after Jimbo. So if you do it before it even starts, you're like, look, we're negotiating in good faith. I know that LSU is going to come after you. It seems like you know that. Like, it wasn't the best-kept secret in the world that Scott Woodward wanted his own guy, and Jimbo would be that first pick. So good on A&M to be able to get out in front and give him a contract extension before the year even began because they knew LSU would come calling at some point.
Dude, okay, outside of being not being the right hire, you don't think that Nick Saban is going to be sitting back home and laughing like, man, y'all going to hire Bill O'Brien? Like, I literally just
Yes,
watched him.
he would be.
Watched him the entire year. Like, okay, this is going to be easy. Like, I know his tendencies. I know what he does. Like, this is going to be easy. What are y'all doing? You know, like, get out of here.
Yeah, he not only do I know what he's doing. I just coach with the guy. And if he's going to give him up to you on a pedestal, like that means that he doesn't want him. Like, you don't want Nick Saban's sloppy seconds. And you see what's going on in Texas with them trying to get Sarkisian. You can't really, just because they've had success at Alabama as a play caller doesn't mean that translates to a good head coach. Like, I think Sarkisian deserves time at Texas, but he's doing that with Alabama athletes. Of course their offense is going to look good.
And honestly, Bill O'Brien's offense hasn't looked that great this year anyway.
I
mean, after the LSU game, I was like, man, Bill O'Brien may be on the hot seat. He may not be at Alabama next year.
Their offenses look good other than the LSU game, in my opinion.
I disagree.
The LSU game is the only game that it's been.
The only receiver they had that's done well is that guy transfer. The other guys, like Mechie, hasn't done well.
What was it early on when they got late? They got deep into, was it at Florida? Where he got deep into it, yeah. Where they got deep into the goal line and he ran it he threw it four straight times.
Yeah, he makes questionable decisions, but I don't think his offense is the knock. I think the biggest knock is when he tried to become a general manager. I don't think he's a bad coach. He's definitely not the hire. I mean, I don't want him. I mean, but I don't think he's a bad coach.
Even with the athletes, of course they can make you look good. I just think that the way he calls plays and his schemes, and like, I just don't think he's been doing great. It's been great.
Is he a play caller? It's
was he a play caller when they hired him as the OC?
I kind of was too.
I don't think he's an offensive coordinator.
Well, he did the thing with the Texans where he would call plays, and then halfway through the year, he would either give it to somebody else or take it back. So he would hire an offensive coordinator, and if the season wasn't good, was like, give me the play sheet.
That's also not a good
calling
thing.
plays.
That's also not a good thing.
Because, well, he had so much on his plate because he was GM currently. Like,
Matt Nagy, that's what he does.
GM, head coach, offensive play caller, and it's like, dude, there's one person on the planet that's doing that well right now, and it's Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Two. GM. You're talking about GM.
GM also. Yeah, you could say Nick Saban's
I was about to say, like, as offensive play caller and the head coach, which would be obviously Scott. Like, there's a lot of guys that do that.
The GM part is what, like, he was spinning too many plates while actively trying to tank the Texans. So, I don't know. Like, I know he does call plays, and he was the offensive play caller for the Texans, but he also balanced that out between passing the buck on other people if the play calling wasn't going well.
Daily Hero.
He's a disaster.
I agree. Yeah,
I mean, he would be an absolutely
we're trying to
disaster.
spin. We're trying to think of it. And we can't. I can't think of anything. That
Travis LeBlanc on the news just ruined my weekend, and it's not even the weekend yet. I said the same thing on Thursday night, Travis, when I got the news, and that the source kind of stood back and told me that the chats with O'Brien were real. I just kind of said you ruined my weekend.
Release
I guess that
Med's
they're talking.
about to get some more patience.
I guess the fact that they're in conversation, like
they've talked about money.
Talking.
They've gone back and forth in negotiations. Hate that.
So I have no idea how this works, and I don't know if you do either. So I hate to put you on the spot. But when you do this, when you're doing like a job search, do you offer the job to multiple people? Then you can turn it down. Like, is he's like, all right, we're in talks with you. We're in talks with Lincoln Riley. We're in talks with Dave Aranda. Like, do you put like they don't know that?
I don't think so.
Not at this point. Yeah. I mean, a couple of weeks back, I think you do. But at this point, like, you have to have a coach named a week from Sunday.
There's no way they're in scramble mode. There's no way, dude.
That's what I mean. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Because this is, if we're in scramble mode now, this is a Leva type where we're not sure what we're gonna do. Like, if you're in the LSU front office,
doesn't make any sense to me.
You could say that you're Scott Woodward with the smoke screen, Scott Woodward this, and like he knows how to play the game. But at some point, maybe he's swinging and missing, because LSU, whether you like it or not, is like the football. Sure, that's a hot commodity, but the university, what's going on around it, and if you do enough digging, there could be some reasons why you're like, I don't want to touch that place with a 10-foot pole because I don't want to be there when the other foot drops.
Sarah Almeida, Kiffin, and 100% of the baggage before the sideshow of Bill O'Brien. Donnie T said everybody's screaming big game Hunter. How about big lame Hunter?
There we go.
How about big Lane Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I think
there's no. This is unfathomable.
I'm telling you, this is.
It's very difficult to fathom that this would be the guy. This
is the Pat Casey drop of baseball. I'm convinced.
I mean, it's kind of. I mean, not
this
similar
is the Pat
to what
Casey
Pat
drop.
Casey did. He was in some hot water.
No, I know, but this is like the hey, let me drop this and see
get everybody
pulse.
talking.
Let me see the pulse of what happened, and then everybody says shits on it and says no fucking way do we want this guy, and then he says just joking, guys. This is who I'm hiring.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's it.
You better hope so. Daily, we're brought to you by A-Bear Specialty Meats. ABearsMeats.com is where you can find them online. Remember, A-Bears is located on Highway 73 in the Dutchtown Shopping Center, right next to Dutchtown High School. Coming next week to Baton Rouge in Robert's Grocery Store, right there on Kenilworth, right there off of Kenilworth on Highland Road in the Kenilworth Shopping Center, next to Superior Bar and Grill. Robert's is going to house about 630 square feet of A-Bears Specialty Meats. Remember, if you need your Thanksgiving catered, not just the turkey, they've got great turkey selections over at A-Bears, but they can do all of the sides, desserts, everything that you're looking for the Thanksgiving meal. If you're hosting next week and you want to take the pressure off of everybody cooking and just want to get it catered by A-Bears, it's easy to do that. Stop in and see them on Highway 73 in the Dutchtown Shopping Center, or coming soon to the Robert's Grocery Store right here in Baton Rouge on Highland Road in the Kenilworth Shopping Center, located right next to Kenilworth Neighborhood and Superior Bar and Grill. A-Bears Specialty Meats, proud sponsor here of the Jordy Culotta Show. And if you're thinking and need gift ideas for the holidays, remember the gift cards over at A-Bears is a great play, and something that will go over well for anybody that you work for or you're trying to give gifts.
Noah said he would eat a whole turducken.
I think we need to do that for the promotion.
Yep.
I think we need to do that.
Do you think you could eat? How much do they weigh?
You could probably do it.
Do you think you could keep it down?
Yeah, I mean, I don't throw up, but
okay.
I mean,
have you ever eaten a whole turducken?
No, I have not.
Then you don't know
but
that.
I might have eaten.
At some point, you're gonna get halfway through. You're like, man, this tastes.
I mean, he's eaten enough meat to fill up that drum.
I don't know how big the turducken is.
I mean, think about it. You know when you eat a lot and you eat too much stuff, it's really good. And it's like, damn, this is just
the old 96er, bro.
It doesn't taste good anymore.
The old 96er on the Great Outdoors.
What is that?
You've ever seen John Candy and Dan Aykroyd in the Great Outdoors when they go sit down at that place and nobody's ever eaten the old 96er? And Aykroyd negotiates for John Candy that he's going to eat it.
I've never seen that movie.
And I mean, the size of that steak is the face of that drum. Yeah, I mean, it's enormous.
Have you ever done like some sort of eating competition anywhere?
No.
Me either. Have you?
No.
I have emceed eating contest.
How grossed out were you?
Disgusted.
It's disgusting.
Disgusting. Chicken
wings. What about?
That's
a
the least.
tough one.
Well, that's the least of the offenses in my mind.
Right.
Like I understand eating some chicken wings fast, but like.
Hot dogs is the worst.
The hot dogs
is the worst.
When they start dipping in the water,
they go bread and then the wieners over here, and they're just
the wieners.
What's over there?
They got four wieners.
It must
one
be
hand.
the seat, dude.
It's just,
they were smudging their wieners on the windows.
What did y'all?
race.
What was the deal with the pizza eating contest last weekend?
Dude, Chestnut came in second.
Did he really?
Yeah, but his forte is
the
wieners.
wieners.
It's the wieners.
the wieners.
But still shocking. He came
Who won? Who won?
I mean, that's obviously not Joey Chestnut.
Not Joey Chestnut.
What?
Wow.
But he came in.
What an upset.
He came in second by like a quarter of a pie. So the guy, did one more. Do you dip the pizza in the water?
No.
That's disgusting.
Looks like Jeff Esper.
Geoff.
Geoff, yeah. 4 5/8 2-foot Fat Boys pizza slices in 10 minutes.
4 5/8 feet? That's a person.
No.
They're 2-foot pizzas.
Yeah, so that's 4 feet.
And so he did 4 5/8. Like he ate 4 of those.
No, he ate 8 feet of pizza.
And then 5/8.
I think we're missing the. I think we're messing up the.
Because it's a pizza, and it's like 2 foot across, I think. And so he ate 4 of those, and then 5 to 8 slices in 10 minutes. At least that's what I'm getting from this.
Do you roll it up like a?
Disgusting.
You have to.
You have to
or
roll
sandwich
it up
it, or you sandwich 2 together, and you just eat it.
So much.
I wouldn't want to eat pizza.
Wait, how did your MC event go?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It started off. So first off, this was an event that my childhood friend put together, Clint Stockwell.
Cash only, I'd imagine.
Always. And he had a production company that he called Clint Cockwell Productions that he started while we were in
Clint
college.
what?
I love
Clint
that.
Cockwell. His name was Clint Stockwell.
What kind of production was this?
Well, he wanted it to shift into other productions.
I bet
but
he did.
He could never get out of the competitive eating segment. So we started it at like our college buddies' our college buddies' college house. And I mean, the first event, we were probably 22 years old. There was 350 people at this house.
No way.
Wow.
On like in Magnolia Wood area.
Like, damn,
you know
this
what I
could be
mean?
great.
Over there.
We're gonna-
And I want to say to this day that like the guy who hosted the party, like his family and kids still live in that house.
No.
Like he has kept that house and like done additions and like done some more reconstruction.
Well, how
but
can you
still,
sell it after?
the guts and the bones of that place.
The bones.
I mean, right.
The bones are still
Right.
there.
The walls could talk.
Wow.
But then like the event shifted into like college bars. Like we would do it at Fred's and Reggie's, and before JL's place, it was Dublin's, and we all worked there. And it was just mayhem. You know,
Mayhem.
nobody was paying attention to the chicken wings, bro.
And you're like, you're 20, you're in your 20s?
Oh, young 20s.
And you're like, I'll MC that thing.
Absolutely.
Hell, this
So
is
you were
I was gonna be. I was the up and coming aspiring,
guy.
like
journalist.
yeah, right. Like I'm gonna be the broadcaster. You know what I mean?
Give
So
Jordy
you've
the
been
mic.
wanting to do this from day
Yeah,
one.
I knew I was gonna do it
Jump.
young.
Nice.
I knew I was gonna do it young.
Nice.
Start off somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wing eating
at
contest.
Cockwell's house.
I mean, I want to. For the longest time, I had the T-shirt from the original event. That was a classic.
That is a classic.
But was always disgusted from eating.
Yeah, I can't.
From day one. There's a great promotion going on at Dead Soxy right now. Shout out to Dead Soxy this weekend. All of the at the conclusion of Saturday's game with LSU and Monroe, however many points the Tigers have scored, Dead Soxy will match that percentage number and discount that for you. So if the Tigers beat 40, if the Tigers beat the Warhawks by 40, the promo code will activate 40% off. If they beat them by 50, no problem, 50% off. This score sale will run from the conclusion of the game until midnight on Monday. So load up on your favorite stocking stuffers and score this incredible offer. Visit deadsoxy.com and use the promo code SCORETIGERS at checkout to receive the score sale percentage off of all orders. And as always, stay Soxy, as they tell you. So whatever amount LSU wins by tomorrow night, Dead Soxy Socks will match that offer and give you a percentage off of their promo code. Just all you have to do is use the promo code SCORETIGERS to get that done tomorrow night.
Socks are solid too. These are legit.
Very
I think you should
comfortable,
keep that look.
Very
by the way,
comfortable. I love that.
The one sleeve
and
up,
all the way up.
The one sleeve up, one down.
That's
Nick Richard, 10% off, Max.
Wait, well, I was about to ask, what happens if?
Well, let's not go there.
Hey, a deal's a deal.
I mean, like,
you have to pay them extra for every point
right.
it goes the other way.
Give me my free socks. It could.
That would suck.
I'm
glad they picked the ULM game.
Well, yeah, that's
all they could do.
That's
all they could do.
That's the only way to have a point of margin of victory, hopefully.
So that's the news that we have on the latest of the LSU football coaching search.
It was bad news. Don't go back and listen.
That is not the best news that you're looking for here on a Friday, but a lot of the smoke, it seems like, has turned towards Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator for Alabama. That rumor or that buzz started and originated yesterday on the ESPN College Football Podcast, hosted by Reese Davis, David Pollack, Kirk Herbstreit, the whole crew there from College Football Game Day. And Davis, who is an Alabama alum, just kind of chimed in and said that Bill O'Brien's going to be the next head coach at LSU.
Is he being a prick?
I'm texting all my Alabama people right
Is he doing the Alabama thing where
could
he's like,
be.
watch, I can get these LSU fans right?
Well, and he could also be kind of fanboying and wanting Bill O'Brien out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They'll take him if we convince him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think LSU's in that spot, though. Like, you could have convinced me of that a few years ago, obviously with the I'm the search. You could swindle somebody, but I'm not folding on Scott Woodward now.
Yeah.
There's no.
I believe in this,
way.
but look at the thing. It
This
sets
goes
trust.
against everything
we
I agree.
thought.
we ever thought on Scott
I agree.
Woodward.
I agree.
Because he doesn't want it to
agree.
go poorly.
No.
He loves
He
Baton
knows it can't go poorly.
Cageonomics says it actually could be good news. Could this mean that LSU is trying to keep the attention off of the real target?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I
there
think
you
this
go.
is the
Pat
classic
Casey drop.
Scotty Smokescreens.
Scotty smokescreens. Love smokescreens. He's savvy. He's too savvy for
This
me.
is
I
too
agree.
savvy.
This
Yeah,
is not.
This is not it. Like,
This is not it.
hand up. Do you think he's? I think this is a smokescreen.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that O'Brien's the guy.
No.
Like I said,
No, likes
I don't
O'Brien.
think I don't like him.
No,
I
likes
don't like
him. No, you
I
like
don't
him.
like him.
You
Damn.
put that's your horse.
But no, that's
your
not
horse.
my horse. My horse
his
is Matt
buggy,
Rule.
that's
My
it.
horse is Matt
Matt Rule
Rule.
ain't
That's
Really?
my horse, yeah.
Your horse is dinner. I don't think got out the gate.
But
right now, right now,
joking.
But
right
I
now,
don't think he's faking the Bill O'Brien thing.
right now, I think that Matt Rule becomes the guy that's
That's what I
off
think.
the board. That is the name that nobody's talking
That's
about.
what I was thinking
Maybe you're
with
right.
the Lincoln Riley stuff when it all exploded like that. I was like, he's gonna pull somebody out of his back pocket. Like that's what's gonna happen. Because you can't let the Lincoln Riley stuff get that big, and then hire Napier. Because all the fans are gonna be like,
Yeah, you
Like
teased
what?
me
Yeah.
with the 10, and
And
you
so-
brought the safe girl.
I don't know. I like where your head's at, and I hope you're right because Matt Rule is great. I
Yeah.
just don't know if that's. I don't know if that's a possibility at all.
Speculation, but I don't see how Matt Rule could leave what he has with Tepper in Carolina because
And he's not doing bad over there
and
with a
he's
team
got-
that his best player's been hurt all year.
Yeah, the second
You
year
know
in a
what I
row
mean?
that I mean
They
you
were
can't
5-5.
You can't count on Christian McCaffrey at all.
NFL can eat you up though.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean.
you're right.
Like NFL can eat up a personality of a guy who is. I don't know. Rules. Does he have a specialty? Is he like a defensive guy?
I think so.
Is he
I
like
think
an
he's
offensive?
defense.
He's
I
a
don't
defensive
think
guy.
well, I mean, he hired Joe Brady, so I mean, he's not an offensive guy.
Yeah.
So I think he's defensive, but
He's a big culture guy.
yeah.
Is he rah rah?
Rah rah.
No, is he
attitude.
rah-rah? I don't know if he's
I
rah-rah.
think so. I think he has his bones set on the defensive side of the ball, and like first one to say, I think he's as smart as they come.
Yeah.
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 Like as a coach, because they did the you know how they do like the round table during the national championship, and he sat down whenever he was at Temple. That was his first gig, and he was like the who's this guy at the table, and he was breaking the plays down as they were happening, like the one that was locked.
No,
He's
I like
they
him.
run this play out of this set, and they had other coaches that are like eating pizza and like, oh shit, Matt Rule knows his stuff. And then
I like him a
fast
lot,
forward,
yeah.
he's at Baylor, then he's with the Carolina Panthers, so I know he knows how to coach.
I had Baylor at a bad time.
Terrible
Yeah,
time.
for
They
as,
pulled him
for
out
as,
of it.
for
They
as
pulled him
bad
out
as
of
the
it.
Penn State job was when Bill O'Brien took
Baylor
it,
was worse.
Matt Rule and Baylor could have been worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been a worse spot
Yeah.
taking over for Art Briles.
Right.
And immediately
during that
made him a
time.
winner.
Immediately.
Yep.
Like, brought him to
there
the
was
Sugar
no fall
Bowl.
off.
Yeah.
They were better with him than they were without him. Like,
Yes.
Like they weren't like whenever Baylor was competitive and they had Art Briles, like Matt Rule came in after all of that and was better with better.
He
at
was
Baylor.
he was more respected, I think, as a like people didn't want to play Baylor. I think
Yeah.
You thought of Art Briles' Baylor teams as kind of like
gimmicky,
run and gun, fun and gun.
Yeah, like they're really no threat.
Stop 2 plays, you can beat them.
They're really no threat. But when Matt Rule's Baylor team took the field, you kind of thought, man, you got to buckle up.
Yeah,
man, this
is real football.
You better come to play. Jesse McCormick says Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson. I mean, that's tough to get over.
He was doing that on purpose.
It's tough to get over that. It's tough to look at that and say, how do you know football? You know, I mean, like, what makes you believe that you're a football expert when you did that?
That's what points back. Like, of course, it's a rumor that he was trying to tank the Texans, but that move is so egregious that it's very obvious. Like, if it was in the court of law, that gives me enough evidence to convict. Like, he was trying to tank this thing. DeAndre for David Johnson. Where's David Johnson? I mean, where's DeAndre? I mean, look at what you gave up and what you got.
Just
DeAndre Hopkins is so good, man.
So we'll wait and see, man, on what happens next here for the LSU gig. I will say this, that I don't think that they get past next Sunday without an announcement. I think that the announcement comes either before next Sunday or it doesn't go past next Sunday, because the timeline on this thing is starting to crunch, and you have got to get somebody in here to make a just send a message recruiting-wise. And I also believe that there's no way in hell that Ed Orgeron, Derek Panamsky, and that crew are kept past next Sunday.
No, they're not coaching the bowl game.
There's no way that they're a part of the bowl game. I know that Orgeron has said publicly that he will be here for the bowl game. I don't see a scenario, and in talking to some people up at LSU, they are so over Orgeron, Panamsky, and crew that they have a countdown going to get those guys out of the building. I mean, people are paying for moving trucks to be there on Sunday morning at 5 a.m. to get their stuff out and get the hell out of LSU.
Wouldn't you do the slow move at this point? Wouldn't you be grabbing like a box every day? Like if you had to move out, like
you would think.
Yeah, but
you
don't think you would
think.
Things like that.
They're holding out.
They're foot on the desk.
Yep.
Still ordering the food.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Sure, we gotta get late checkout.
Still running up the cell phone bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
late checkout.
Just everything that they can abuse on the way out, just pound it.
Who would? What you said that you don't think that Orgeron coaches the bowl game if they make one? Who would it be?
I guess you would have somebody in place, and I don't think that it's outside of the discussion right now that if they get bowl eligible, that they wouldn't for a second year in a row turn it down, and for a couple of reasons. The first being that they are ready to get Orgeron out of here. The second being that they're still under investigation. And there's still some discussion of one thing that's getting lost in all of this LSU basketball discussion. By the way, November, people have said about LSU basketball that you'll hear something by November 10th, November 15th, November 19th. LSU's 4-0, looking towards Belmont on Monday night.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, love the deadlines. I just keep getting pushed back.
It's unbelievable. What people have said about LSU basketball. Remember that Pat Forty piece we were talking about a couple of weeks back?
Yep.
Anything happen from that?
Nothing.
Anything get kicked up from that?
Nope.
Talked to a couple of people last night at the Maravich Center who have been interviewed by the NCAA over the past month.
The Bobs.
Absolutely, the Bobs. The Bobs want to see you in the office.
Great.
The Bobs question consists of nothing. They have zero. I mean, I was talking to somebody who was answering some of the questions that the NCAA was forcing,
lampooning.
Yes, at the subject, and I mean, at one point he was like, "Fellas, I mean, you want to know what color socks I wore today? You want to know if I got any underwear on? I mean, what are we talking about here, man?
But where the wire?
Yeah, right. I mean, like, what's going on? Do you have? I mean, this is what you're asking me 3 years into this investigation.
They're still in step one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, they're still just what's happening is they are trying to force the hand of LSU to fall under public pressure and say, hey, just get rid of Will Wade. But one thing that's getting caught up in all of that stuff that we don't talk about a lot is that the LSU football program is under investigation as well. And that they are going to, they're kind of waiting to hear from the NCAA too. And as far as evidence goes, there's, more
on that side.
Yeah, there's more debilitating evidence towards the football program than there really is towards the basketball program. And, at some point they're going to hear on that and get ruled upon. And they are trying to, self-sacrifice as much as they can. And last year, They gave up their bowl eligibility, and they self-penalize themselves there. And I don't know if it's outside of the question that they do that again. Now, that is a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. You lose about 30 practices for these young guys, and when you look up on Saturday, LSU's nucleus is very much built around the youth and built around a lot of the youngsters on this team. So, 15 to 17 extra practices going into a spring and a bowl, you take them away from. But it's so bad with Orgeron that you might as well just say, hey, look, let's just get to a spring, get the new guy in here, let them start rebuilding the program, and, get ready for next season.
Like, you don't have a coach. O's out, so it's a whole different, the 17 practices, what are they going to get from that? They're not learning a new scheme yet. You know what I mean? The new staff's not in with their new.
It feels like it would do more harm than good.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, it's not a normal 17 practices.
Listen what Orgeron said. Listen to the latest thing he said. Noah, read the comments. Read the quote from Orgeron. The latest here. I mean, this is just incredible.
From the day one, this is what he's been saying.
Of what you've done. And Jesse McCormick brings up a great point inside of the inside of the chat. He says Coach O managed this roster worse than NCAA penalties ever could have, and that is very much true. I mean, it's almost as if the NCAA has come in here and penalized the program with the way that Orgeron and crew have managed the roster. I mean, you don't have any offensive linemen, you don't have any safeties, you don't have any players. I mean, you don't have any players at key positions. They dressed 53 people out against Alabama. I mean, that does. Yeah. It's a testimony on how hard they played, but I mean, they had no business in that game.
None.
Just from a personnel standpoint. Here's the latest of Orgeron's comments.
So they were discussing the 4-3 defense that LSU had been running before, like where the change
this is yesterday.
Came from. Yes, this is yesterday. And so they were talking about like what changed with the defense. He said a phone call with Lane Kiffin was Lane said, "Coach, you're playing the same thing all the time," and Coach O said, "I know." As the response back.
I mean,
and then he said it sparked after that. The 3-4 and 0 blitz has been working, and the players love it.
I mean, just the unawareness. I mean, think about if that was your employee of a very successful company. Forget being $100 million company annually. Forget those numbers. But just a very successful company, and you're the president, and your vice president walks out into the public and gets asked questions about what's going on with the program, and he says that one of the competitors pointed out what we were doing wrong, and since then we've made some changes and it's been working. It's just like the unawareness in that position to understand that even if you had that phone call, and even if Lane Kiffin tipped you off that your defense looks the same every time we break the huddle, that you don't have to go say that into the public about how dumb we look. You know what I mean? Like, it's just don't rile me up, man. I know that he's out. He's out in the countdown is on, but I mean, it's just like I didn't interview that guy.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin had to point out that we're the defense.
Hey,
we should have been running the 4-3.
Jack Marucci gave us all these stats
pointed out the offensive
know.
Line stats.
Like,
I mean, it's just like, bro,
comedy of errors.
You're getting paid $8.5 million a year, and you didn't know that y'all were in the same defensive look every single time the offense broke the huddle? It took an opponent to point out, like, hey, coach, you guys look the same every time we break the huddle.
You didn't see that on film?
The best is he goes, I know. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what. Oh, that makes us easier to beat. I guess we'll change it. I will listen to Durante Jones, the guy that I brought in.
Yeah.
So then
defensive coordinator.
Then we change it up. They do make the changes,
and he takes all. And
Durante Jones gets no credit.
He takes all the credit for it.
All the credit.
Yeah, I was looking at film the week in Alabama. I just knew we couldn't block them, boy.
Scout.
Just good Lord, dude. Good God. Get the hell out of here. I mean, you and Panamsky and crew pack up and get the hell out of here.
I'm kind of jealous of him.
To have
this,
the gall.
To be able to do this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was it a couple of weeks back when they were asking about the offense? Coach, what's going on with the
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ask them.
I don't know.
Guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not an anything guy.
I don't know.
While on the topic of Lane Kiffin, he will be in Baton Rouge tonight at the Episcopal Newman game.
Really?
Yeah.
Arch is playing.
I kind of want to go to that game, actually.
Arch is playing at Episcopal tonight. A lot of smoke around Lane Kiffin in Miami.
Yeah. They said he would take it.
And this is the Miami Hurricanes job. I've always had him linked to the Miami Dolphins job. Like, first off, do you leave the SEC now? Like,
listen. So if he goes there and he brings Miami back,
no doubt.
He goes and brings Miami back, especially with Clemson, like,
no doubt about
teetering, and they become the big dogs again in the ACC. I mean, and he likes South Florida. I mean, he was in Boca for a minute.
Well, dude, if you have not, I think that's the only thing that could pull him.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that could pull him back would be the geographical location.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
no, I think that's.
If you have not heard the Dan Le Batard interview with Lane Kiffin, it was probably ran about 6 weeks ago. I mean, it was in the college football season, and they are talking to him about living in Oxford, Mississippi, compared to living in Boca. And it is some of the funniest radio entertainment podcasting I've ever. But he's not meaning to be funny. He keeps kind of like walking himself. He's like, I'm driving right now, and they got this place called Sardis Lake that they hang out at in Oxford.
Right.
He's like, it looks like a bowl of soup. You know, he's like, it's brown. And they're like, so it's not the Blue Waters Lane?
Miami.
It's not Boca. He's like, Jesus, it's not Boca. I mean, it's not even Palm Springs. He's like, I mean, this place is a dump, man. I mean, it's like he's living in an insane asylum. And he's like, he gets his one phone call goes to Le Batard, and they're recording. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's like, I mean, they're paying me good. I can get players, but I mean, just the place is a dump.
I think his personality, like when Miami was good, they had rappers, they had the pop culture going. And, like, that's him. Like, he's going to bring all of that.
No doubt about it.
Embrace that.
No doubt about it.
He could make it USC.
So, yes,
he could definitely do that.
I would leave to go Miami.
He's scary at Miami. He's scary at one of those schools.
Plus, we don't. But
I don't know how much I fear people outside of the SEC with Oklahoma and Texas coming in.
I'm with you.
I'm
with you.
And to me, I think Lane understands where the best football is played, and I wonder if those days of worrying about being Lane Kiffin first has kind of taken the back seat to being how good of a football coach can I be. At some point, Lane Kiffin's going to have to write his football coaching legacy. Right. And at this point, it's still kind of a joke.
Yeah, no, you're right. But don't you think that going to Miami and turning that program around that's been so bad for so long,
that could be the difference.
That would be the legacy?
That could be the difference. He could also come to LSU and reel off 6 national championships.
Right, but I think he's realized that he's not going to be able to come here now.
I mean, if they're talking to Bill O'Brien,
you're right.
Hey, Lane,
you're right.
Lane,
you're right,
pick up the phone,
yeah, buddy.
Bill O'Brien's
what's he going to take?
And I would argue for Lane's legacy, if that's something that he's concerned about, which I don't really know if he is or not. I know he comes from a football family, and that seems like it would be important.
He's a football guy.
He's divorced. Is he divorced now?
Yeah, but he's calm.
Yeah,
he's not in the
publicly
public.
calm.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't realize the best spot for him is an Ole Miss or a Baton Rouge to where he can't
stay
get
out
in
of trouble.
Yeah.
But when he goes to a Miami,
but even at Florida Atlantic, he wasn't.
Well, nobody cared. You could do whatever you wanted. He was so under the radar. Maybe he's in Boca. Like
Boca is great.
I know exactly. You can kind of move in the silence and the shadows because
he talks about Boca like it's heaven.
Yeah,
he's like, I still have my place.
I mean, it's a very.
I mean, he's like, I still try to get back there on off weekends.
It's a very high end spot.
It's a bowl of soup here. But like he can convince himself, especially like when you said he's driving around like that in Ole Miss and going, ugh, like can't find one good thing about it. But he doesn't realize if he goes to Miami, he will go Lane Kiffin, and he can't help himself. He will fall into the trap of what got him in trouble everywhere he's been when it's been a high-profile job, because that's who he is. If it's a place where it's nice, and you want to go to Los Angeles, you want to go to Miami, like he's already proven that he can't.
Yeah, but I want to.
He can't rein himself in.
It would be that again, though.
I would love
I'm all for it.
I would love to see him coach a power in a city like that. I would have loved to see USC work out for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
It was too early for him. It may be the time in the right place. He's lived in that part of the country. He's seen. He knows how to recruit.
It's
that.
also dangerous.
But I think he's a great fit with the Dolphins too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I'm looking at Cliff Kingsbury and I'm seeing the success that Kingsbury's having in Arizona, you give Lane Kiffin a quarterback in the NFL, and he's going to outplay call just about everybody on a Sunday.
I just don't know if the NFL is going to allow him back in. Not necessarily they don't want. Like Miami may want him, but
I'll buy it.
You know, Goodell. I don't know if Goodell's going to say.
I'm just saying this, Scotty. If you're down the list at Bill O'Brien, Go back to Lane.
Go back, please.
Get him to Baton Rouge.
That's a perfect play if you're Scotty. The perfect.
It really is. Like,
dude,
hey, look, I had. You want Bill O'Brien?
Or
Hell
Lane
no. You want Lane Kiffin? I'll drive his boat here from Sardis Lake.
Absolutely. It's the, you throw the haymaker, then hit you with the soft jab.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right. Yeah.
Oh,
that didn't hurt as bad.
This is what this
Thank
smells
you.
like.
Yes.
What this smells like.
And this is who I wanted to deliver the whole time.
That
You know
would
what I
be
mean?
Perfect. That would be. I'll back in. Scott, I'm sorry if I said anything wrong.
No, we're all good with Scotty. We're trusting Scotty.
I trust. That's
We
what I'm
trust
saying.
Scotty.
I
We have
trust him.
not given up on Scott.
Yeah, you're right. It's all rumors. It's
In
all
Woodward
rumors.
we trust. In Woodward we trust.
Just
Even
please don't
last
hire
night,
Bill.
I told him last night, there's no way Scott Woodward would do this, right?
What's to stop him from lying to people he even knows very well?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I'll smoke all you out.
Nothing. Nothing.
Lane, get on the boat. Get on the plane.
That's right, Lane.
We want you here.
Tell him that you're coming to watch Arch play on Friday night.
Actually, sign the deal.
Sign that
Sign
contract.
the deal.
Sign that contract.
Get Arch to sign the deal.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of rumors, this is obviously not about Bill O'Brien, but how funny was that whoever came out and said that Lincoln Riley, it's a verbal deal, handshake deal too? I'm like, come on, man. You're going to just start doing handshake deals for a $96 million deal?
So we're all off of Lincoln Riley, right? It's not happening?
I will turncoat on Lincoln fast if it's
I would
Lane
say
Kiffin.
no, but I mean, if he's hired, okay, it's a good hire, but I just don't think that's a real thing.
We appreciate you being out there and starting your Friday with us. Hit that like button. Hit that smash that like button for us. Comment, dislike, share the post. Just interact with us. Daily, we're brought to you by GoFlow IV. GoFlow IV was over there yesterday with the crew. Stop in and see them. Remember, they've got memberships available for you on 3-month, 6-month, annual membership plans. If you are suffering from chronic dehydration, if you're looking to improve your athletic performance, Andre Anthony and BJ Ojulari were in there yesterday getting their GoFlow. GoFlow IV, illness recovery, chronic illness, hangover cure. Let them help you out. GEAUX Flow. IV.com. That is Baton Rouge's premier medical spa specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. Check out GoFlow IV on Jefferson Highway or just simply log online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. That is GoFlowIV.com. Proud supporter here of the Jordy Culotta Show. Ben Mintz, we will ask him about Lane Kiffin and his viability in Oxford, Mississippi. How long does he see him lasting there? Is Miami a true candidate? Is Baton Rouge still in play for Coach Kiffin? We'll talk to Ben Mintz next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU bluewater.com. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. forgot the answer? What is it? No, flash it.
Oh, it's a trivia question? Don't answer. You can. Okay.
Yeah.
I buried myself because I forget where I put the answer. I was like, oh, I woke up this morning, I forgot I did this.
Relief Med. RELEAFmed.com. My man Lloyd.
Doing trivia.
Ben Mintz is up at Barstool Sports. Mincy, we were talking a little Lane Kiffin, and says he might be interested in the Miami job. I think he's more suited for the SEC. I know that his personality says Miami, but the job is bigger in the Southeastern Conference. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just, man, been on the run, just really chaotic last 5 weeks. Been a lot of fun, though. I'm back in New York now. Probably going to be here next few weeks. And so it's good, though. Kind of got to get back in the routine. But I know y'all are following it. But in 5 weeks, I did World Series Vegas, LSU Ole Miss, New Orleans Halloween, back to World Series main event, and then ended up at LSU. Ole Miss A&M last weekend. So the road was long and winding. It was funny. I got back here Monday night, and one thing like my friends and I always talk about whenever you go to Utopia, basically, is re-entering the world. And I was kind of in a little funk for a day or two, but I got out of it. I've been back exercising and stuff again. I'm feeling good. And, next week, big Egg Bowl stream. The Egg Bowl being on Thanksgiving night. Walker and I are going to do a huge stream for that. So, really, that'll be a lot of fun. And, yeah, man, everything's good, man. So, going to stay here watching football this weekend.
How was Oxford?
Oxford was nuts. Just both LSU games and A&M games were the two most fun weekends we've had in that town since 2014 or 15. It was great. Obviously, our rival was there, College game day. But huge turnout everywhere. Look, Ole Miss will never be Death Valley or Florida or Auburn or any of the super top atmospheres, but they've improved the game day atmosphere. It's fun up there. Big shout out to my boy Paris Buchanan. They've, just gotten a lot better in the last 5 years, and it was noticeable, and I was glad to see that. But just huge time in Oxford. Grove was packed, and just couldn't have more fun on the road. And but just kind of back here and now getting it together. It was kind of funny. It was almost like I felt like I didn't even live in New York for 5 weeks. But back here, and hopefully going to pick some winners this week.
Mincy, what's your feeling on Kiffin and the latest of coaching rumors? I know that the University of Miami is still occupied by Manny Diaz. They fired their athletics director earlier this week. Many believe that Diaz will be out here soon enough. There's discussion around Kiffin in Miami. Obviously, he was down there in Boca when he led Florida Atlantic. How secure do you feel on Kiffin and Ole Miss?
Man, I'm at this point. Look, well, first of all, okay, Miami, in theory, Lane bringing Swagger back to you would be a hell of a story. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. That would be a really fun fit with his personality. And, the ACC is wide open right now. But you alluded to something a minute ago, and that's Southeastern Conference becomes just by far the power of the sport. And when I look at it, all this stuff right now, and LSU's at the heart of it, going through their coaching search, man, who knows what? All these agents are floating stuff, trying to maximize pay deals. I mean, every day it's a new rumor. I know Ole Miss is going to come up with some serious money for Lane this offseason. And how could you not? He's saved the Oxford. He's literally saved the economy of Oxford, Mississippi, coming out of COVID and how dead it's been the last few years. So, I think Lane's about to get 8, 9. He's about to get big money. The Miami thing does worry me a little bit just because the fit, him living in Boca, Florida Atlantic, and just seeing how weak the ACC is. And, Kiffin would be kind of a Miami guy. And, you always wonder, Lane's from, Cali guy, Miami guy. You wonder how much he enjoys living in Oxford. I'm sure he probably doesn't enjoy it as much as I used to, but
the spots mid-season.
But having said all that, man, I'm at a point with these coaching rumors where, especially Lane got, I believe, I'm not sure if Sexton's his agent, but I know that they're all just floating stuff trying to get paid. So yeah, I'll say I'm mildly concerned about it. How about that?
Mincy, a lot of people in the chat have missed your picks the last couple of weeks. Let's bring hell this weekend. Where are we starting?
Okay, so we're doing all college. We're doing all underdogs this time of year. I think the dogs are barking. First one is Nevada +1 tonight against Air Force. So I don't know if y'all got a chance to see Nevada quarterback Carson Strong play yet. This dude can sling it. And Air Force, while they do have a good team, I always like trying to pick on the academy secondaries because that's always their weakness. They play options in practice, and they struggle with strong passing games. So Nevada's a 1-point home dog on a Friday. I really like Carson Strong, and I think he likes the Air Force. So that's my first pick.
Nevada +1 tonight, so jump into it early on with the action. Where are we headed next?
We are headed – okay, so this one, I might be being a sucker, but they're going to get me. Man, I'm going to take the 20 in Michigan State tomorrow. I mean, that is a crazy line, and I get why Vegas does this with Ohio State all the time. Whatever you think the line's going to be when they're at home, they just make it 7 more. And I remember the Oregon game was like 14 or 15 earlier this year. But 20 against Michigan State when Ohio State's got Michigan. They got to go to Michigan next week. I know Mel Tucker, speaking of people using all the agent stuff and rumor stuff, supposedly he's about to get 10 years, $95 million. Good God. Man, nobody even knew who he was like a year ago when he was in Colorado. That's just crazy.
He needs to send a thank you card to Scott Woodward for Christmas.
Yeah, for sure. But Kenneth Walker, I think, should be able to run the ball fuck out. I don't think Ohio State's run defense is that good. Ohio State, the one concern, Michigan State, you look back at Michigan State's good teams, it was always kind of like they played lower scoring games. That's not really how this team is. Their pass defense is not good. That's a bad matchup against Ohio State, but I'm still going to be the sucker. That's just 20 points too much, so give it to me.
20 points, +20?
+20, yeah. Wow. But I think it may be one of those that's time for a reason. We'll see. But, I'm biting. So get me on it.
Well, Michigan State can't keep up. That would be the thing, right?
Well, they can control the ball.
Michigan State's got some offense, man. I like that.
We'll see if Kenny Walker can be a true Heisman contender. Where to next?
I can't lay 9 points on the road with Florida right now. Screw that thing. I mean, you're allowing 42 points in the first half at Stanford. You fired Grantham. You lost 40-17 against South Carolina. Look, Missouri's not good, but I got to take 9 at home right now because of what's going on with Florida. I mean, they're just literally on fire right now. How can they lay 9 on the road against anybody not named Kansas? I just don't see how.
So Mizzou +9?
Yeah, I'm taking the home dog.
Wow, that is a stinking. I mean, that is amazing that Florida gets that type of respect after what they've shown.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what happened in South Carolina a couple weeks ago. Mizzou beat South Carolina last week.
How fast do you think that Florida job opens? Do you think it opens?
Not this year. I think he gets one more year. I think when you look at it, I don't know who they want, but then also factor in, I mean, I know it's been awful this year, but Mullen almost won the SEC last year. They lost by 6 to Bama in that title game. I think that he gets the higher defensive coordinator and gets one more year. I don't think it opens this year.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. Play 4. Where are we headed?
Play 4. Okay, there it is. I'm taking South Carolina plus the home dog thing. I'm taking South Carolina +7 at home against TJ Finley. Even though I know he torched South Carolina last year, that was the best game of Baton Rouge. I just, Bo Nix is out for the year right now. It's a night game. I can see it just being a little ugly and close. Auburn's going to have to run the ball, obviously. But I know South Carolina's not a great team by any stretch of the imagination, but they play hard as heck for Beamer, and man, they got a really underrated home field advantage. Even when South Carolina wins 4 games, they sell out Williams Price. And I think it's an admirable thing with their fan base. When you see how it is when LSU and Ole Miss struggle, you don't see necessarily that level of commitment sometimes. So, but I'm taking South Carolina +7, home dog.
Where to next?
Finally, the beauty is the simplicity. You just bet against Hawaii when they're on the mainland. And you bet on them when they're at home. They're a +2.5 point home dog against Colorado State. They lost as a road favorite against a crappy UNLV team. They're in a bounce back top 5. So we're taking Hawaii +2.5. 6 underdogs this week. And I also looked at I took a long look at SMU +11.5 Cincinnati too.
So all underdogs in this. The games start tonight. with Nevada plus the 1, and it ends with a Hawaii kiss on Saturday night.
Get back right
into the mornings. There is nothing better than betting Hawaii in the over on a Saturday night.
Only one thing to keep you up for that. That's the chase.
Mintz, is today the anniversary of your trip out to Santa Maria and Ascension Parish?
It was yesterday. So yeah, that's why you see I wrote a blog on it. It was funny. I got a lot of texts from Bossier City, Louisiana yesterday. I can't believe airlines get commented on a Bartlett School Sports. But yeah, that was 4 years ago, and I remember it. I remember coming to you that morning too.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, that was wild, man. When it was like this Asian guy that was like about late 50s or 60, like I got so excited on a high school football touchdown in the third quarter of a playoff game that my voice was at about 30, and our coaches were on the second floor jumping up and down. So I guess the first floor they could hear us. They could hear us just making a racket. And in the middle of my broadcast, some Cajun guy slapped me on the shoulder, and the radio mic was hot, and he was screaming at me, and it was still 4 years later. That
radio gold.
What?
It was radio gold. I mean, it was just the Powerball of moments on
a hot mic.
Just beautiful time. Mincy, have a great weekend in the city, man. Is it cold? It's got to be cold up there, huh?
Yeah, it's cold, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's not as bad yet as it's going to get. Like I said, I'm going to stay up here for Thanksgiving. I'm going to probably make the Ole Miss bowl game. Obviously, Jordy, I mean, we'll do this early next week, man. What an egg bowl we got next week. Yeah. I mean, one of the better ones we've ever had, really. With State beating Auburn last week, and now Ole Miss beating A&M, and Ole Miss could be playing for a New Year's Six bowl. And, man, hard to believe. Got to give Lane Kiffin credit. Ole Miss going to be playing for a 10-win season, man. Wow. Never thought. Yeah, got to give them a lot of props on that. Didn't see that coming. I don't think Ole Miss will have too much trouble against Vandy this week. I think they'll get the starters out pretty quick.
Undefeated at home for Ole Miss this year, huh?
One quick question I have for y'all. I mean, surely LSU's defense has improved so much. I mean, this shouldn't be a problem against my hometown this weekend, right? Are y'all?
I don't think
it
so.
Should not be.
I don't think so.
It shouldn't be.
I don't think so. But at this point, bro, you know.
We're taking any advice y'all want to give at Ole Miss, apparently.
LSU football is a hell of a gamble right now.
Yeah, well, I remember ULM was 14 years ago.
Yep.
Yesterday was Bama and Nick Saban. That
2007.
Came up yesterday.
Wow.
Yep. What an
I mean, dude, that's the all-timer. Like, when you look back on it, can you believe ULM beat Nick Saban?
I know.
That is amazing.
That's literally one I read that story.
Bama should have fired him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they put up a billboard in Monroe. They put up a Tide Roll billboard in Monroe, and Bama's bus had to pass it on the way to the Indy Bowl that year. Great.
That's awesome.
Mincy, have a great weekend, buddy.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, this next week, let's plan on Wednesday because that's on Thursday.
Yep.
I guess. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely. Later, buddy. There is Ben Mintz checking in this morning from Barstool Sports. That conversation brought to you by Edward Jones. Remember Edward Jones, our guy Daniel Newman. Stop in and see Daniel Newman today and let him help you out with any of your financial questions that you may have, whether it's investing, 401k, anything that you may be curious about fiscally and need some help with. Let Daniel Newman help you out. And as we've told you over the last couple of weeks, if you work at Exxon and considering retirement in the next year or next few years, call Daniel Newman right now, 225-261-8262. Exxon announced over the last couple of weeks that the interest rate for the first quarter is going down, and that could impact your decision on whether you retire now or in the next couple of years. Let Daniel Newman crunch the numbers for you and see if it makes sense. 225-261-8262, 225-261-8262, or email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Appreciate Mincy for stopping by here on this Friday. No Nathan Velasquez here with on this Friday. He'll actually be in town next week for Thanksgiving, and we'll be in here on a Wednesday for our latest segment. So we'll catch up with Nathan there. And as Mincy said, he'll be here Wednesday as well with the holidays next week. Happy early Thanksgiving to you. Hope you can be here next week with us. We'll be here. You going to be in town all? What's your schedule like?
It's a good question. Okay. I think I might be. I mean, it's always up in the air. I always can stay.
Yeah.
You know, if you
We
need,
might.
Yeah. Thanksgiving here.
Play it by ear.
I'll be out of town Thursday. That's it.
Thursday, that's it?
That's
okay.
it. I'll be here Wednesday morning.
You're here.
And then Thursday I'll be out. I'll be back Thursday.
House sitting for Katie next week.
Wow.
I
Noah's
got passed over again.
Got the countdown.
You're not going to be here
on,
next week. All week, right?
He could.
It could be. If there's a Katie house in play, I can stay.
Warm that pool up.
Throw a turkey in there.
Shohei Ohtani, unanimous MVP. You good with that?
Duh.
Yeah.
I
okay.
mean, dude, got a sub 3 and hits 40-some homers. It's never happened.
Yeah.
That's a obvious. Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
MVP. Good for him. He had a great year.
He did.
He kind of got. It's kind of weird though. He started off his career like people would say he's kind of overrated. It was overrated. Obviously, he had some good years, but then you kind of fell over the last couple of years. He was underrated.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody really talked about him, but his numbers the last couple of years are really good. It just sucks the Phillies haven't been in the playoffs in a long time. But he's good, man.
Is he a victim of his own success? Like to where
Too early?
I mean, dude, 13 years old, he was on the cover of ESPN the magazine.
Right.
Dylan Moses.
Yeah.
Yeah. LeBron. I mean, obviously LeBron ended up, but Bryce Harper is. I mean, he's
as good as
really,
good as they get.
He's as good as advertised.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. It's just, I mean, I think people had unfair. It didn't help that Mike Trout came in the same time, and Mike Trout's gonna be the best player. I mean, he needs to stay healthy from here on out, but I mean, at the end of the time, he'd be the best player maybe in the history of baseball.
The Angels have got to figure something out. You got.
They're working on it. They're working on it. They're spending some money. They're spending some money on pitching.
They just got Thor.
Yeah. See if Thor can.
Why are they not good?
Pitching. They cannot. And then honestly, this year they have three of the top players in baseball. Really, if you think of Trout, you think of Shohei Ohtani, and you think of Anthony Rendon, all three MVP guys. Rendon was hurt all year. Trout was hurt all year. Shohei obviously showed you what he could do. And then they just don't have any pitching. They never have pitching. They have to
Is Joe Madden still over there?
Joe Madden is still there. I mean, dude, they can. I mean, they have the guys on the team. They just don't have guys.
It feels like that every year
for
them.
Pitch.
Did you face Ohtani?
I've never faced Ohtani.
Do you want to?
Yeah, of course. You always want to face those guys. You always want to face guys that are the best because, you're kind of going in that bat with house money. You're not supposed to get a hit off of them.
That's like DeGrom.
Yeah, I've only faced DeGrom in spring training, never in an actual real game.
And?
Hit a double off of him.
Oh,
okay. I think, but I will. I mean, I hit a double off of him, and I think it was a Tim Tebow double. Tim Tebow was in left field.
I don't give a shit.
He made a bad read and then tried to dive for it and missed it.
Tim Tebow double.
I mean, it was in the gap, but he probably was should have been caught.
Hit it at Tebow. What's the scouting report today, Skip? Go at right field all day, boys.
Oh, man, look,
we steamroll if we get it at the right fielder.
They got a weak link.
We laugh at a lot of things that Tim Tebow did on the baseball field.
I bet.
But man, look, I respect him for going out there and staying with it as long as he did. And look, he had some.
Hard.
He had some. It's very hard. He had some. He didn't play baseball since his second year of high school. I don't even know when he quit. So I'll give him a little credit.
I know what you mean.
But he has some. I mean, dude, we played him in spring training, and we had a ball down the left field line, and it's in that little triangle of no man's land, and he is running
the washing machine.
He is running full speed, looking for the ball, looking down, and then all of a sudden realize oh shit, I overran it, and two-hand tries to catch it, and he spikes it, and then rolls over. His whole back, his name is dirt. I'm like. Bro, you just tackled the football. You tackled the baseball, man.
Ball
what
at
are we doing?
That was an open field stab for Tebow.
Where's the flag?
Dive!
Yeah, it was a foul ball though, so he had to go back and then
nothing to show for it.
So good.
Yeah.
Wait, was there? I don't want to obviously disparage the name of the great Tim Tebow, but when y'all played against him in spring training and and minor league ball, you're like, dude. I mean, if you can get one to Tim Tebow, go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to.
We found the fish, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to direct the ball, especially at that level. But yeah, you hit a ball to Tim Tebow. Hey, come out the box hot.
Yeah.
You may be running second and third. Come on, don't.
The last batter in T-ball.
Hey, you line out to him it may not be a line out. Get out the box. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he forgot the rule of the first step back. He's sprinting at that thing.
It's tough. Hey, look, if you've never done it and you have it,
no doubt about it,
dude.
Dude.
Hard.
Baseball can embarrass you really quick.
Yeah.
Dude,
and the thing about
really
baseball,
good.
when you play with fear, it finds you.
Yeah.
It finds you, and you got to imagine how many swings and at bats or cuts that Tebow is playing defense where his ass is just clenched.
Yeah.
Just thinking, dear God.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't hit this to me.
I just tackled the baseball. Don't hit another one at me.
Man.
You move infielders to the outfield that have played baseball their whole life, and it's a hard adjustment for them. So, like, people talk about how easy the outfield is, and yeah, like it's not as hard as playing shortstop and trying to convert to a shortstop, but like, man, balls that get hit off the bat at 110, and like you don't know if the ball's gonna be top spin, back spun, hooking. You don't know what the hell's going on.
In the sun.
And like
I don't play the sport.
Tough. Yeah, right.
Anybody got a glove?
And then you have that. Yeah, you have him, and then you have the exact opposite with Shohei Ohtani. He's like, I can do that. I can do that. Like,
dude.
For a game that is so difficult, he makes it look easy.
Yes.
I don't think people realize how fast he is.
How big he is.
Yeah,
I mean, he's huge.
He's a tank, yeah.
He's huge, but like he had over 20 stolen bases. He led the league in triples. Like the guy's 6'5", throws 100, hits the ball 500
He led
feet,
the league in triples?
or tied for the league lead in triples.
Oh.
He hacked baseball.
Dude, he did. He's a creative player.
Yeah.
He's a creative
Yeah, he
player.
is.
He's a guy who said, hey, you know what? If you can create somebody MLB The Show, what would you go? So I want a guy who can get the ball really far, hit a bunch of homers, and a guy who can throw 100 miles an hour.
And play outfield.
And play outfield and be really fast and just look really good in a uniform. Okay, that's that guy.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick.
That guy.
Prime Michael Vick.
We got that
Throw
guy.
power 99, speed
Absolutely.
99. You're like, oh, okay, this is fun.
Yeah, and just he's like young, so he's like
Roll him out and run him.
He's
roll
genuine,
left.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such like a young, like genuine. I don't even know
They
if he
seem to
knows
love
how
him.
good he is. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the home run derby, you know, when it was
Yeah.
very
He's always laughing. and
anticlimactic,
smiling.
he didn't do
His
what everybody
60
thought he was
Minutes
gonna do.
interview, I fell in love with the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's
Yeah.
like, golly, how do you hate that? I mean,
Yeah.
how can you dislike
He's
this
so
guy?
happy to be in the league.
Yeah.
He's so happy to be
But
playing
even
Major League
like, I
Baseball.
mean, the way they celebrated him back home
Yeah.
is
imagine.
amazing. The interview starts, the 60-minute interview starts with him in his hometown. And
What
like
is
travels.
his hometown? I don't even know.
I don't know it enough
I
to
don't know
say.
where
I
in
mean,
Japan.
Yeah, we shouldn't take any steps.
no,
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not even gonna guess at it.
I'm terrible at like cities, places.
Oshu City. I guess that's
About to be Shohei City,
Shohei City.
but like I don't
And
know.
how awesome of a name is Shohei Ohtani?
I know, bro.
The show.
The show. It's showtime.
It's showtime.
It's just
The Shohei kid.
I mean,
Would you see? I can't do geography like that. Like if you name a place, especially somewhere that's not like.
well, the only reason I ask is I've gotten to play in Japan.
Shanghai
for
Knights.
A little bit. Like I played in Tokyo for
Sharks.
Team
Sharks,
USA.
yeah.
So like I just didn't know if like he was from Tokyo or like some of the bigger cities in
Japan. He's actually from Japan.
Yes, I mean, but I didn't
Yeah.
know what
Right,
city and like where in Japan.
Right. No, I'm with you, dude. You don't want to
No
start.
clue.
You don't want to start guessing on
No.
I know
Asian
Dublin.
continent.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I don't
Like,
even know where it is on the map.
I'm
dude.
out.
I know it did Dublin, Ireland.
One thing that I'm all in on, and remember, Daily, we're brought to you by City Cafe, citycafebr.net on the corner of O'Neill and George O'Neill. They've been in business for over 100 years. Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, the entire crew over there. Stop in and see them. Lunch specials every day, including this Friday, and you can stop in on Sunday when they open up at 10 a.m. for their brunch. What are you laughing at?
Look at Jordan. Look at his head.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Chilling, bro.
Oh,
Great work courtside last night, Peck.
You've earned it down there.
No days off T-shirt.
That's right.
One thing that I am all in on is City Cafe, citycafebr.net, is when Steph Curry gets it going.
mm-hmm.
And Steph Curry has gotten it going here to
Dude,
start
he is.
this
crazy.
season. I mean,
That's
dude,
a cheat code.
He is.
That's a cheat code.
Is he the only thing in sports right now that you'll drop everything to watch when he's playing like that? I'm trying to think who is the
Like right
the
now, like
best
current-
entertainer in sports.
I think he is.
He's got to be.
Well, yeah,
When
I mean,
he is playing,
yeah.
he hit 9 3-pointers last night. And he
How many
was-
times has he done that this year? Like he's like.
Let's see. There was a stat that I was reading. Most games with 9 3-pointers in NBA history. Steph Curry has 38. Second on the list is James Harden and Dame Lillard, who have 9.
Oh my
Steph
God.
Curry has 10 since April 10th
Yeah.
of this
right.
year.
He's got a ton this year. Like, he's on a different level, and look, he's beefed up a little bit. Like,
yeah,
I think
he's jacked up,
yeah,
bro.
like he's. I think he realized, like, hey, you know what? I need to the longevity wise, I gotta get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Most 3-pointers ever made through the first 15 games of a season. This is a mind-blowing stat. This is a mind-blowing
this.
stat. most three-pointers ever made through the first 15 games of an NBA season. Steph Curry's got 85 right now in the 2021-2022 season.
The next closest is
second on the list is Steph Curry with 80 from 2018-2019. Third on the list is Steph Curry with 74 in 2015 and 2016.
Who's the next one that's not Steph Curry?
I'll have to find that for you because you got to go down so many rings before you get there. I mean, he is must-watch television in today's entertainment world. I mean, in sports entertainment. And by the way, the Warriors are playing without Clay and without Wiseman.
And they're doing it.
And they are balling.
Doing it.
Gary Payton Jr. is almost must-watch television. He's got to
Flying
be
high.
in the dunk contest this year.
When they asked him about it, he said he doesn't have as many tricks in his
Get
bag.
out of here, Gary.
He could jump.
Get out of here, bro.
50 inches in the air.
I mean, you got
so
a couple of months. Get it done.
Right.
I mean, they want you in.
Well, isn't that like? Aren't some of these guys like not very good, like skilled dunkers? They just jump high, like they just want to yam.
Well, the dunk
Because the
contest
skill,
it's like an art. Like
yeah,
it's a different thing. But yeah, I mean, because it's not just about how high you're jumping. Because
right, you got to be able to have ball skills.
Because the dunk contest has lost a lot of popularity after 2016 because that was like the pinnacle. Like Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's two guys that can do whatever in the air, and then since then you just get guys that jump high, and so.
So if you just watched the fourth quarter last night, that was vintage Curry. That's as good as Curry can be. They were down 13 going into the fourth quarter last night, and Curry had 20, and you blinked, and the Warriors had closed on a 36-8 run and run Cleveland out of the building. They had run them. They kept showing Cleveland's bench. And, I mean, they were, like, playing with their head down, shoulders down, where, I mean, it was, like, caving in on them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, in sports, we were like, we can't stop this.
This is going to be bad forever.
It was when Jared Goff hit that long route against the Saints and they kicked that field goal at the end of the game. You're like, they can't stop them. Yeah. They can't, there's nothing that they can do right now.
It's over.
To stop that. It's over. It's rolling downhill on them. That happened last night in Cleveland. Compliments of Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. And look, I don't mean to get off on a tangent on Curry, and I don't mean to sway. We'll get back to LSU football and what's going on with all that stuff. But Curry, for where he's playing right now and the things that he is doing on an NBA basketball floor is just, it's unseen and unheard of over the last really 20 years. I mean, you don't remember getting these types of moments where he looks like a video game. Mm-hmm. The ball looks like it's on a yo-yo. Yep. It looks like it's on a string, the way that he handles it first. He never looks like he's running full speed, and he never stops running. He never stops moving. If you just watch him on the back, he never stops moving. It's like he has energy for days. And the reason why a lot of the times why he hits those shots late in the shot clock is because people are so tired from chasing him.
Yeah.
I mean, they got their hands on their knees while they're defending him.
I mean, you have to you don't just defend Steph at the half court. You have to defend him from the full court because when he crosses the half court line, he's in range. You know what I mean? Like
he hit 2 last night from the logo.
That's what I mean,
Cleveland's
though. Like,
logo. The
minute he takes one dribble over the center line, and he's in range. Like you can't just defend him like, all right, let's pick him up. No, you have to defend him the entire length of the court. All game.
Last 6 games, he's averaging 36 and 7 3-pointers a game. He's averaging 36 points, and he's hitting 7 3-pointers a game.
This is with no Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Which
when
is
they were chanting MVP last night in Cleveland.
Yeah.
When he would touch the ball in the fourth quarter, like 3 minutes left, they were chanting like you could audibly hear it through your television. MVP.
I love what I'm seeing.
MVP. By the way, the Parker Edwards chants last night.
I love it.
MVP they were great. Edwards takes the charge.
Then he shoots first possession three.
Bro, he never even thought about it.
That's what I was going
to say. And then the little dime, the fudge.
Then he got the ball again. Pinson passes him the ball. He doesn't even look and passes it back, and Pinson catches it and just looks at him like, come on, bro. I just gave you the ball. Shoot it. Just fucking shoot the ball.
Right. Like, don't go cold on me now,
like,
bro.
All right, I guess we'll run the offense. Like, no, bro, this is you. This is your time.
Another great example of the chemistry on this team, though. The way that they treat Edwards and the way they celebrate him on the bench.
That 3 and the bench is
when he dropped the pass.
Yeah.
When he dropped the dime, I mean, Efton Reed ran the sideline.
Yeah.
He ran. He was like
fun,
fanning
man.
the flames.
God,
I mean,
awesome.
the Maravich Center, this team, I'm telling you, man, it's scary to think about what they would be like with Ace Wolf. It's scary to think how. I mean, it's almost like they feel like they'd be like a top 10 team with him.
They would be,
and they feel like a top 10 team right now.
How long what do we have to do to be ranked? Like, do we have to? Because it's the Will Wade. They're not gonna just give us.
Even when you are ranked, they're gonna be 10 clicks too low.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when they should be 12, they're gonna be 22.
Right.
This next week is gonna be big.
They got Belmont
at home, who's a good team.
Yeah.
And then Penn State.
Yeah.
Because the big thing is they want to see, in my opinion, Darius Days do it somewhere that's not the PMAC.
Amen.
Because
it's not comfortable.
They're not going to say you're legit until you can hit from outside in another gym.
In a stranger's gym.
Yeah. So they play Penn State and Destin next Friday.
It's at the Emerald Classic.
Emerald Coast Classic.
Coach O's going to try to get down to that one.
Absolutely.
Where y'all go? Y'all going to the beach?
No shirts.
Oh man, and dude, the basketball team hadn't even hit their stride offensively.
No, they haven't.
I mean, they started off slow again.
Efton's still trying to find his way into the groove. He's played a couple of games here. He's played 4 games now on the collegiate level. 50% of them he's been in foul trouble where he can't get going, right? Like I thought his first game was probably his best game because he was able to play kind of carefree, and mentally you can see that he's trying not to foul. He plays good. He uses his body too much. He plays.
But
really,
I think that's a learned thing. You know
I mean
what
the speed.
Yep.
It's probably he's probably been faster than everybody he's been playing his entire life, and now people are kind of getting to spots quicker than him. But this is why you love the non-conference because the time, when January 4th, by the time Kentucky gets here, he may not be ready to go, but he at least has an idea of what it's going to look like.
But even though he hasn't been like he hasn't kind of figured it all out yet, and he's still been good. Like he's still been very good for us, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like as a freshman,
he's filled his role.
Defensively, like Wade calls him. He calls him a goalie. He calls him a hockey goalie. I mean, he cleans and terrifies everybody,
which is huge.
Yes,
which is huge. If you don't have it offensively, then give us something else, and that's what he's been doing.
That's what LSU's been missing since Cavell Bigby Williams. Nobody that could be under the rim and protect like that.
Yeah.
So
and he's a hell of an athlete in the open floor. He runs so well. His hands around the rim are very impressive. The way he's able to catch balls.
Brings a lot of energy too.
He brings a lot of like some quiet energy.
Yeah.
Last night, some guy had I don't know who it was from McNeese, but he had the ball and it was right in front of us. And he had the ball, and I want to say he was either an inbounds play or he had the ball and he was about to shoot, and he yelled, just yelled at him, and the guy got startled and missed a shot or do whatever. And Allie was like, "Did he just scream at him?" I'm like, "Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do." You know, he just he startled the guy out of nowhere. Yeah, he missed it.
Who do you think runs more, Coach O or Will Wade?
Oof.
They're both out there.
Who wins in a race?
Oof.
Will Wade, I bet. Yeah, I think
that would be something to see them open it up and run.
Because Will Wade's a competitor now.
He
would pull every bone in his body.
He is.
He'd trip him.
I just think Will has.
You wonder what Willie would look like if he didn't run.
That's kind of the bigger conversation I wanted to get toward. That was not a
it's a very
look
gentle.
for him last
it's
night.
a very gentle. Those sweaters that you can't hide in those sweaters.
What size are we?
Let's
go one up. It's okay. The sweater looks good.
I don't know if that helps.
I don't know if the size up helps. Really, because
it's just where it
what
falls.
you get in sizing up is you get this part, the outside. That if you widen it out, even though if you're not filling it up, you still kind of look like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what running even does.
It does. I am curious.
They say abs are made in the kitchen. Abs are made in the kitchen. You gotta eat.
Yeah.
And he's bitching about the dietitian. Maybe that's that's the first thing he leaves. Like I don't even know if we're eating right. Well, it might be you.
Yeah, but he would tell you that he's not playing. You know what I mean? Anytime you try to criticize his diet or what he's ordering, he's like, I live in South Louisiana. What do you want me to do? Not get the shrimp po' boy?
They're bringing it out to me.
You know
I didn't even order it.
I mean, not get the gumbo?
I heard y'all are polite here.
But
I
hear you.
Just a different look. I liked it. It was a good look.
It is
I want that jacket. I want that pullover.
Right.
But
that's not the model.
That's not the Under Armour mannequin.
That's not the model.
Yeah.
But they're 4-0.
He can do whatever he wants.
I love watching him on the sidelines. He's just so the referees he wears them out and they get so aggravated.
They do.
Like, hey, enough. We'll make the right call.
You're up 60. Like, well, you still got to do your job over there.
You can tell.
One time he's got and he is a screamer.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he's as loud.
Right,
and if you watch him, sometimes he'll come out of those screaming episodes, and he's kind of got to like regather himself. His eye, like he's kind of like
seeing stars.
He's kind of like I'm seeing, like I'm on fire. You know what I mean? Like I've just kind of got to recalibrate.
Then he wakes up from it. He's got a technical. He's like, wait, I said what?
I mean, he is barking at. Well, and the officials were pretty good last night. I didn't think that they were bad.
Fun.
I didn't think they were
the
bad.
best is when some guy on the team, especially young guys. So I think it was Fudge had an offensive foul. Like he kind of like leaned in with his shoulder. And he was trying to bitch at Will Wade, and Will Wade goes, he's yelling at him like, "You made the right call." Like, what do you think? We've been like we've been doing this all week. I've been telling you that's gonna be called a charge, and he did it. And he was like trying to get help. It was like, no, you're not getting any help from me right here. Like,
well, that's working them too.
Yeah, right.
That's working the officials too.
So you hear Will Wade yelling, right? You see him, and like as a player and playing for a coach that's a yeller, and knowing that he yells at you, it's scarier when he doesn't yell at you. Like there's times where like they had like a possession, like the first couple possessions at a half, like it was kind of sloppy, a couple turnovers, like bad shots. And Will Wade just was like walking down, head down, like not even looking at anybody. I'm like, man, that is scarier than him yelling. I won't just yell at me. I'd rather yell at me.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Like, man, he's brewing, and this is not going to be good.
But this LSU basketball team will be tested, as Noah pointed out, here in the next week with their matchup versus Belmont on Monday night. Then they'll travel over to Destin to play Penn State in that opening round game.
Who else is in the
Classic? Who do they play? Georgia Tech?
They do play Georgia Tech, but I don't know if that's...
hang on, let me pull up their schedule.
I know they play Ohio, who's also a very
they play
good
Ohio
team.
the next Monday night.
Ohio beat Belmont, and so Ohio's a very good team.
Jimmy Burrow.
Yep. Athens.
Hang on, let me see. I'm pulling up the schedule right now. All right, I got Penn State, and then it'll be Oregon State or Wake Forest.
Okay.
Who they play in the second game in the Emerald Classic. Wow, that's brutal travel for Oregon State, huh?
Yeah,
to
tough.
Destin.
I mean, destination city though.
Yes, it is.
If you're over in Oregon and you got a chance to go to the Emerald Classic,
raining and snowing and gray right now in Corvallis,
and you get to go to 85 and kind of feels nice. I don't blame them. It's a vacation.
So then LSU will be home to play Ohio on Monday night. Then the Holiday Hoops Giving Classic, which will be in Georgia, will feature Georgia Tech, who the LSU Tigers will play. So a couple of good non-conference matchups here before they start conference play on December 29th. They open up conference play at Auburn Arena on the road at Auburn. Then they'll be home for Dale Brown Court Day
against Kentucky.
You think Brando will be there?
What day is that?
I think that's Tuesday. It's going to be Super Tuesday.
The date
on
is
ESPN.
what?
I think it's going to be Super Tuesday on ESPN.
January what, though?
January 4th.
January 4th.
Is that a Tuesday? Look that up. We appreciate you for being here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
The search show, January 4th is a Tuesday.
Yeah, Super Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We started off talking about
Bill O'Brien.
About the news that we got last night at the Maravich Center. Yes, it very much is
shit in your pants.
It was a wet fart for sure.
Yeah.
Was getting the news that Bill O'Brien is in serious talks with LSU. And look, this is what we'll say, and I appreciate you being here. Go back and have listened to the podcast, RMB Builders. Go back and listen to the front portion of today's show, and you'll find out. And I'll kind of recap it here again. But yesterday on the ESPN College Football podcast that is published weekly, that's hosted by the staff, Reese Davis, David Pollock, Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, that whole crew, the faces of College Game Day. They were speaking about the LSU opening. Pollock is urging the LSU brass to hire Dave Aranda. He thinks he's the best selection. Reese Davis out of nowhere. Davis, of course, is a proud Alabama alum. Says out of nowhere he thinks that LSU is going to or that Bill O'Brien is going to be the next head coach at LSU. People have a pretty wow reaction on set to that, on the podcast to that. And Davis kind of goes in a little more on it and says that he believes O'Brien's going to be the head coach. Yesterday, a couple of people asked me if I heard the podcast. I went back and listened to it. I heard it. It was kind of like, wow, man, that's Reese Davis. I mean, that's a national talking head. Put it out there saying that Bill O'Brien's going to be the guy. Now, we all host podcasts. We all got opinions. We've all said stuff that you've said that doesn't come to fruition. But in last night, being at the game at the Maravich Center, again, anybody that tells you that they know doesn't know. But if anybody was to know, this guy would know. says, when I asked him, "Is Bill O'Brien stuff, what do you make of it?" He says, "Man, it's real." And, I vomited in my mouth. But, again, I trust Scott Woodward. The message I'm sending you to the weekend with is that we trust Scott Woodward. We have been saying that for a month, and we're not giving up now. Bill O'Brien makes 0 sense on Scott Woodward's radar. If that's the guy, it'll be disappointing that they announce. I don't think that they're going to announce that guy. Just stick with it. I believe that the announcement will be made a week from Sunday. 1 week from Sunday. That's the timeline. That's the backstop. It's either going to be on Sunday or you're not going to go past Sunday. The other thing that I truly believe that is that Ed Ogeron and Derek Panamsky, they're not going to be here for the bowl preparation, if they are even in a bowl. If they're in a bowl, I can't see a scenario that keeps Ogeron in place for 5 more weeks, potentially, at LSU. It's just been too bad of a relationship here at the end. If you saw the latest yesterday, Ogeron admitted that it took Lane Kiffin telling him that they were in the same defense every look when they broke the huddle, to which Ogeron said, "I know."
When he says that, is that obviously he talked about he doesn't know what a bus is and what to do with it if he saw one. But is that a direct shot at Durante saying, "Look, I know what the defense looks like. I don't know why they're doing it that way." Because it seems like there's conflicting reports on that, right? Wouldn't you say that once he kind of let Durante cook, defense has changed and LSU is playing hell on wheels because, fuck it, we got nothing to lose. Let's go out blitzing. But it seems like, remember the Titans, like, let him get Coach O's another decision, yard. Right? And then Coach O wants to say that was his decision. But so blitzing. Did you know, or he's just talking?
Yeah, I think he kind of is.
He's just talking.
I think he kind of, to me, he's a moment guy. He lives in the moment.
He really does.
But last week you said, it was even like the Nussmeier stuff. You know what I mean? Like in the same press conference, if you go back, he's like, "Well, I talked to his daddy, and his daddy wants him to play, so we're gonna play the boy." You know what I mean? And then in the same press conference, he said, or then a week later, we're at the press conference, and he says, "I saw some of y'all out there writing that Doug Nussmeier made the call about Nussmeier playing. I'm the head coach on the team. I'm the one that makes it." We were quoting you from what you said, that Nussmeier called you for you to get him to play, and that his daddy was the one that is playing with. So it's now your decision. And then 24 hours later, it comes out that Nussmeier's going to redshirt for the rest of the season. He's not going to play anymore.
I talked to his daddy. He said we're going to redshirt him. But it's my decision.
Yeah, right.
God damn it, dude.
You think Doug Nussmeier is probably looking at Ogeron being like, "Are you kidding me, dude? Are you serious?"
Yeah, don't play him again because I want to leave.
Right? Like, look, man, I'm texting you this time. Don't tell everybody we were on the phone together, for God's sakes.
He'll say it anyway. Well, I got some text from Doug. Now, Doug he ain't making any decisions, but Doug told me not to play him. He ain't gonna play.
I talked to his daddy.
Boy, what a emotional roller coaster for Nussmeier. Hey, you're basically starting the Arkansas game. You're not starting, but you're basically going to start. You have some moments, and you throw an interception, and now you're
That's why you've got coaches.
Yes.
That's why you've got leaders.
Yes.
Those guys in that locker room want to play.
Right.
All those guys in that locker room think that they're Sunday starters. They don't think they're Saturday starters. They think they're Sunday starters. Right. That's why you recruited them. So when Nussmeier came in the office on Sunday morning when you got back from Tuscaloosa and was pitching a fit about what he was reading on social media and what he felt about the game, that he could have helped you out and he could have made plays to win, you sit him down and you say, "We think that too, but it's not time. You're not ready for that yet, and we're on our way out, and there's somebody new on the way in, and for your best case, for the best for you." In which it's Ogeron's responsibility to be looking out for that.
For the kid, yeah.
Is to say, "Look, man, take a deep breath, exhale. Let's get to the next coach and get you on the right path to play." You could have made plays in that game yesterday, and we potentially could have won the game, but it's just not. It's not the time in the cycle for you to be out there right now. We could do more harm to you than we could do actually good than putting you out there. And then what's he do? He rolls him out there against Arkansas, keeps him in the game. 2 interceptions later, a brutal pick in overtime. Now you got to pick up Nussmeier off the carpet. Now you got to pick him up off the canvas.
He doesn't have an opportunity to show anything, like to go
He's
off.
He's got a stew on that for a year,
the whole year,
essentially.
Yeah,
for the whole year.
If he plays well and he wins the Arkansas game, does he go back out there or is this a red shirt no matter what?
The head coach told you whoever plays the best is going to get the ball.
Well, not anymore.
You know what I mean? I mean that was the message, and that was that's what he was kind of pounding at the Monday after the Alabama game.
Let them figure it out.
Right.
Jake Pete style. Y'all figure it out. And that had to come back. I mean, poor Cole Kublik. I don't know what just the reporting around LSU is so shoddy. The information.
No, I think it's reporting around for anything. Like reporters now, they just want to
get out there and say something.
They want to be the first one. They want to say stuff, and they don't even check shit.
I'm not blaming Cole on that because Cole's got the reputation.
Right. Yeah.
He's not.
But he said he didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah, he's not looking for any type of shock. He was just telling a story that was told to him. And that's how people like Cole Kublik survive.
It's the people after him that took what he said and spun that into saying it.
You know, and that forced him to come out and have to make a statement on, look, this is what I meant. This is what I was saying. You know what I mean? And everybody around LSU knows it. I mean, I told you somebody came up to me Monday, bro, they're all blaming you about the story about Jake Peets leaving practice. I said, blaming me? You had somebody on ESPN on the broadcast during the game telling a story in which a coach told them that is what happened. I mean, nobody said that he left in the middle of practice. Like, they started practice and Peach just up and packed and went away. Like, I mean, it was just...
Here's my thing, though. People, and look, we don't get to see practice the whole practice. You only get a very small...
snippet.
What Pete's did to the quarterback room and said, hey, you stay after, happens all the time.
All the time.
It starts in high school. My high school coordinator kicked me off the field 3 times one time. He put our 4th-string quarterback in and then just stopped talking to us. Said, y'all have to figure this thing out. Y'all keep making the wrong reads. It happens everywhere. That's just what it is. Like, hey, if we're going to coach you up and you're not going to listen to what we're doing and you're not going to make the adjustments.
You figure it out.
You figure this out. If you're not going to listen to me, you figure it out. But it's more of like hey, this is like a kick in the ass. Like, hey, you either figure this thing out or you're never going to play. You know, it's not that you're giving up.
It's more of
a motivation thing.
Motivational tactic than anything else.
Like, come on.
So we'll see, man. Look, are we all secure that they're going to beat ULM, right? I mean, they're all
yeah.
Like they're gonna.
What do you think the spread is?
They're going to beat the hell out of them.
No, they can't beat the hell out of anybody.
I'd say 17, 14-17. I memean, does LSU have that type of respect anymore?
Yeah, I think we'll beat them by 3 touchdowns.
3 scores?
Yeah, I think 3
scores.
3 scores. Yeah.
It is 29.5.
29.5.
That is too high.
How bad is ULM?
4-6.
I mean, they beat Liberty.
They beat Liberty.
Really?
Liberty giving up 4.5 at home to ULL. Billy Napier. Is he distracted? I don't know, but he's catching 4.5 points.
Yeah.
Going to
One
Liberty.
thing that we didn't talk about this week.
We haven't talked about that enough.
One thing that we didn't talk about this week is that Billy Napier canceled that interview on us 2 minutes before he went on Wednesday morning. That ain't his style. That's usually not the way he operates.
That means one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean
something happened.
There's a fork in the road somewhere.
That wasn't. Oh, I forgot about a meeting I had with UL.
Exactly.
That was somebody called and told me I probably shouldn't take this interview right now, and that's either because think about the timeline of when it happened.
Yeah.
Tuesday, right? Napier 7:15. He calls 7:13. Says, "Hold on. I can't go on right now." After
this is Wednesday.
This
is Wednesday.
And then what comes up after that? Lincoln Riley. Smoke of either he's been offered the job or he's turned down the job. Both of those things were both in play while Billy Napier was about to come on the phone of this show and talk not only UL football, but a little LSU football would have been peppered in. Like his name being around an LSU Baton Rouge podcast is probably persona non grata for whatever transpired between Lincoln Riley and the LSU brass.
Okay, do you think it's negative or positive?
I think it's positive. I think it's hey, we reached out to you to make sure you don't go in there and say anything that could take you potentially out of the running for this job, because Lincoln to LSU might not be a sure thing. It might be hold steady.
Throwing out the ninja smoke.
Straighten up that tinfoil hat, bro. It's leaning a little bit to the left.
I like that, though.
I don't think
this is the one time your tinfoil hat was on my side.
Yeah.
I like it.
I can deal with that.
But just straighten it up. Just got a little lean to it.
What else would keep him from doing the interview other than something related to LSU?
family stuff. I don't know.
He was pissed off to find out that Bill O'Brien was in play.
Yeah, I mean, maybe negative stuff. Like maybe he realized, like, hey, they told me I was out of the job. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, but then he could just come up here and pump UL and how they're going to
True,
win 4 straight.
Yeah, because it wouldn't hurt him.
He could have just said, "Hey, don't ask me any LSU shit. Like, I don't want to talk about it," and that's fine. They do.
What's their record? They're 9-something, 9-1.
They've lost 1 game.
Yeah, they lost to Texas.
Lost to Texas, and that's it. And everybody's poo-pooing UL, and they've lost 1 game to Texas. I mean, pretty strong effort. Now they're catching 4.5 against Liberty against Hugh Freeze. Good little matchup.
Yeah, and look, they got the best offensive line in football right now, as graded by Pro Football Focus.
Defensive coordinators, one of the top in the running for the Art Broyles Award or Broyles.
They had five. They had 5 seniors accept invitations to NFL prospect games, like Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl. They're looking at those types of play. I mean, they got players at UL,
and they're developing the players. Like, I mean, if he's making those guys into viable NFL prospects and All-Americans, like, what is he going to do with
any wins, bro?
Those guys.
Yeah. They've won 26 out of the last 29 games. He's won 90% of his last 30 games. I mean, Mikey, you grew up in Lafayette.
Yeah, not a history of winning over there.
The Cajuns are rolling right now. Yeah. When did you ever think that would happen? I mean, for 5 years, they have been one of the most consistent programs in college football.
Yeah.
And I think that is a prerequisite for what Scott Woodward is looking for. I think that he is looking for stability. I think he is looking for calm. I think he is looking for leadership. I think he's looking for expertise in an area. And I just, to me, like I said this week, I know everybody's bounced around. I think this became a 2-horse race earlier this week. And I think it's out of Dave Aranda and Billy Napier. And, I don't think anybody will be shocked at anybody that's named. But if you're asking me who's on the board right now and who's in play, to me, it's those 2 guys. I'm not believing the Bill O'Brien stuff on this Friday. If it happens, I'm not even gonna digest it until Sunday. I don't want to deal with that until next week. I'm not dealing with Bill O'Brien right now.
I'm with you.
I'm not even dealing with that. And you
can't announce Bill O'Brien until another reason doesn't make sense. It seems like Alabama is looming for the playoff as they usually are, even with 2 losses. If that's what happens,
they're not going 2 losses.
I don't know, but they have to prep. They have to prep all the way up until that point.
Right.
So if LSU gets to the bowl game, you get into that whole thing. But if you had to rank those coaches with Bill O'Brien on the list, allegedly, he's on the bottom of it. Like, it goes Dave Aranda.
I can't find a list where I accept Bill O'Brien.
I don't even have him on my list.
Yes, I don't even have him. I never thought that he was a viable candidate.
Ever.
I never expected him to be even in the discussion of, like, legitimate candidates. Sure, he's Alabama's offensive coordinator, so people are just going to bring his name up. He's got NFL experience, so that gives him a little cachet with his name.
He's ran a college program before and was a successful college head coach.
You start diving into the nitty-gritty on Bill O'Brien, man, it's easily to get turned off pretty quick. You know what I mean? Just like he traded DeAndre Hopkins for who? For David
Johnson. Can't do that in college football.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's his evaluation of talent, or that's how he treats his superstars, or if that's what he thinks in the locker room is supposed to feel like, that ain't it.
That's a great way to get yourself fired, and he did that. So, I mean, if he knows what he wants and he gets it. If you want to spin it into positive for Bill O'Brien.
Have a great weekend. LSU basketball is 4-0. LSU women's basketball is 2-1 with a very impressive win yesterday over UL as they rolled up the Cajuns 70-41. So Coach Melky's got them rolling here early on in the season.
Purple and gold World Series. I'd never say that right. It's this weekend.
Is that right?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, nice.
So
you going?
I'm gonna go to at least one of the games. I'm gonna try to.
Yeah.
So
have you met Jay yet? And
he's a rock star.
Hell yeah.
It's great. I love him. I mean, I met him when I first got back, and he's been awesome. So no complaints there.
No complaints.
Remember, Dead Soxy has the promotion going on. If LSU wins the game this weekend, for however many points that they win by, they are in a promotion right now where they are going to give you that percentage amount off of your socks. So if LSU wins by 40, you'll take 40% off. If they win by 50, you get half off. The code that you're going to have to type in is going to be Score Tigers. Score Tigers will get you the percentage off tomorrow of Dead Soxy Go over to deadsoxy.com and order them now. And remember, whatever LSU wins by tomorrow night, that'll be the percentage that Dead Soxy takes off. All you got to do is use the promo code SCORE Tigers to get that done. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you being here all week. Make sure you like, share, comment on everything that we got going on before you get out of here. And we'll talk to you on Monday morning.
See you on Monday.
Or Sunday night. Sunday night.
I'll see you on Monday.
Sunday night.
No, Bill. No, Bill. No,
I don't even want to mention his name in the universe. He's not even in the search.
Lane, I know you're listening. Come on home. Come on back. You've never been here, but come on back.
I'm off.